All right, let's talk about the Flagstaff Super Lite 29SRL. I walked into this thing and I was like, yes, this makes sense. This is a killer floor plan. On top of that, it's Flagstaff, so you know it's well built and it has amazing amenities. So let's head on in, take a look at this floor plan, because I think as soon as you see it, you'll agree it makes sense. Sometimes you want a floor plan that is built for two, but has the ability to have many more. And that is exactly what we have here. This essentially is like a front living setup, right? Only rear living. But if you're familiar with the front living fifth wheel, this is basically what you have, right? You have dual opposing sofas with theater seats directly across from a TV, and they have brought this into a travel trailer, and I'm here for it. I love it, and for a couple different reasons. As I said, one, if it's just the two of you, you still get the best seat in the house. You have theater seating right across from the TV. Of course, both of these recline cup holders there as well. But, I don't know about you. I like entertaining. I like having friends over, and I can do it because I have dual opposing sofas. So I can have 4 people sit in here comfortably. And the best part about it is both this sofa and this sofa extend at the same time. Both of those have beds. So if I have guests that maybe have a little too much fun and need to stay the night, this allows them to do that. 50-inch TV there, of course, is going to be front and center. You also can see the Bluetooth right underneath it. That's going to connect to the sound system, which you can see part of that, boop, right up top there, which is great. And then you have the fireplace to keep your toes nice and toasty. And again, Flagstaff folks, so we're looking at roller shades, but they are not standard old roller shades. Those are MCD shades. So that's going to make sure, or not make sure, I guess, if anything, but mainly just the fact that they are going to be better quality than some of the other ones that are out there. On top of that, not only do you have the night shades, but you also have day shades. So, again, that's not something we often see in travel trailers. It's commonly seen more in like higher end fifth wheels, which is kind of the story we see throughout this Flagstaff. Now, moving into the kitchen, you will notice that you have a Magic Chef fridge freezer. Yes, you have the fridge on the top and freezer down below. This, though, I don't know if you noticed, we opened it from this side, so if you're in the living room and you want to grab a beverage, you can come right over here, pop it open, and grab the beverage, but that's not very convenient if you're cooking in the kitchen, right? Well, they thought of that too, so yes, this one opens both ways. I think this was probably one of the best uses of this refrigerator I've seen in an RV, so hats off to Flagstaff for that. Now getting into the kitchen itself here, you can see your 3-burner cooktop. The countertops are going to be an actual solid surface. They're not going to be pressed, which I like. And then you actually have good storage right here for pots and pans. Again, that's something oftentimes you don't get a really good spot for, especially in a travel trailer. And they kind of thought through that. You will see the backsplash here actually goes from, the bottom of the countertop all the way to the top. Same thing where, it actually should be behind your cooking surface. Covers the whole thing. And then right up top here, microwave storage down underneath, stainless steel sink with drying racks, and of course a pull-out faucet. And then as we drop down, yes, right down here, there is more than enough space for a trash can, plus some drawers, and you even have the countertop extension over to the side, so you have everything you want. Now, one of my other favorite parts of this floor plan, though, is this right here. Like, not only can you sit here to have a meal, but you can also watch the TV. But again, the thing I love about this is you're elevated. It's almost like you're in an actual theater, right? Where the people in front are a little bit lower, you're gonna be higher so you can see over them, so everyone can still be here and watch the TV. I mean, this thing is built for entertaining and partying, like it just is. You can see, again, another big window right there. And then straight up above me here is going to be our AC unit. Now, as we kind of turn around and head into the bathroom and bedroom, before we do go in, I do just want to show you that, yes, this one does have 2 different zones for the AC. We'll see the one in the bedroom in just a second. Control panel is going to be right here. And this one does have inverted outlets kind of all the way throughout, which is pretty wonderful. Stepping into the bathroom, a couple things I want to point out. Mirrored medicine cabinet there. Good storage over to the side. Open this up, right? So good linen closet. or linen storage rather, I suppose, right down underneath. Now this is going to be a pressed countertop rather than a true thermoformed rather than a true solid surface. And then you do get a little bit of storage right underneath that as well. You can see access to the water pump right there. And then over to this side, you have the porcelain foot flush lever toilet and the shower. Now, something I do like about the showers, this one comes with the Shower Miser water saving system, which if you're not familiar with it, that little blue elbow right there, basically is a recirculator is what this is. So the water just comes in and goes right back here, and then it just recirculates, waiting for it to get hot. Once it gets hot, that blue right there will turn kind of like opaque white. That's how you know you have hot water. Then you can flip it on, and then it will come out the shower head. So the idea there is that it's going to help you save water in the event that you're boondocking. Now, I always like to step in the shower just to give you an idea of height. And as you can see, even without the skylight here, folks, I still have plenty of room. I mean, I still have like an inch or so. With that skylight, I'm going to have, you know, maybe 3 inches. So at 6 foot tall, I can easily stand in this shower. The other thing I want to point out is going to be right here that, yes, this one does have the upgraded Max Air fan. So not only is that going to help get moisture out, but, you know, pretty obvious reasons why you're going to want a bigger fan in your bathroom there as well. Kind of stepping out, going into the bedroom. You'll see, of course, wardrobes on both sides, storage across the top. As I promised, there is that second AC. You have the queen bed right there in the center. I actually like again, one of the things Flagstaff does really well is not only design, like construction, but the design. Like the colors actually look good. And I know that seems ridiculous to say, but it's just, that's not the case in the entire industry. Something else I really like about Flagstaff is this right here, the fact that you have aluminum bases for your bed. They also do it for the dinette. Now this one doesn't have a dinette, but the fact that they use aluminum is definitely just one more kind of sign of the type and quality of construction that they do in here. You'll see a 32-inch TV here in the bedroom, so you can watch TV before you go to bed. You have robe hooks right here in case you're one who rocks a robe. And then you have additional wardrobe space right over here to the side. But, you know, again, as we know, right, an RV is not just about glitz and glam, which this one definitely has plenty of that, but it's also about how it's built and some of the outside features as well. So, without further ado, let's go take a look outside. Let's talk a little bit about the outside features here on the Flagstaff Super Lite. Starting off with one of the most impressive in my opinion, and that is this bad boy right here. Yes, folks, this one has auto level. That's something we don't see super often on travel trailers, but it is very convenient. Now, basically the way that works is it's going to utilize your tongue jack as well as what, you know, would normally be stabilizer jacks in the front and back, but they are actually used to level the coach out. So it's like a 5-point level. We'll kind of see the bigger pads in the back when we go back there. Right behind that are going to be 2 30-pound propane tanks as well as double batteries. Again, something oftentimes is an add-on or an extra for manufacturers that you are getting here from the Flagstaff Super Lite. The diamond plating is much more aggressive than what we normally see, so a much better rot guard. It's not true diamond plate, still like rubberized or like a plastic, but again, it is going to be an upgrade from what we normally see on the front of RVs. Then above that is going to be your 3/4 front cap with a windshield. Again, this is probably, you know, it looks really nice, a beautiful cap. The only thing that would make it better is if it was a true front cap where it rolled around the edge here, around this seam. But, you know, in order to do that, that's a really expensive piece and definitely would jump the price up. So, you know, we go with a 3/4, which is the second best. We'll take it. As we talked about before, maybe I didn't, I'm not sure, but this one does have solar, right? You have 200 watts there with a 30-amp controller. That is, as it says, expandable up to 600. This is another great feature, and again, something I don't oftentimes see in travel trailers, which is your MORryde tray. Now, I'm at a show, and so I have no idea what all this is. Looks like we have some feather flags, folks. These are all boxes of feather flags. Inflatable Wacky Man. No, just kidding. But we have all of this in here, but just kind of shows how big this tray system is. And the thing I really like about this though, is it makes it so much easier to fully utilize your pass-through. Like how often do you load stuff into your pass-through and the far side, it's a pain to get to, or the stuff in the middle. With this right here, it makes all of that just super accessible. So big fan of having the tray in here. And you can see on that far end, that is the inverter. As I said, we have some inverted outlets, and then of course, a spot to hang our tool there in case we need to manually do something with the jacks. And then kind of coming over to this side, we'll pop this guy open just to show you that yes, you do have TV hookup here if you want it. That TV, of course, is going to mount right there. Also has a rail system, so if you want to put like a griddle out here, you know, there are griddles or grills that hook up to the side of the RV, you can do that. There is a propane disconnect or quick connect, oh my gosh, somewhere under there. There it is. You can barely see it, but it's right there. That is what that is going to be. Sorry, this is terrible and something really stupid to admit, but I had leg day like 2 days ago, so squatting down is just not my favorite right now. So I apologize for all the grunts. All right, back to the RV though. Right up top is going to be your power awning with the LED light strip there. Nice wide door. Again, these are one of those things a lot of times we don't notice is the size of the door, but the width of the door, the wider it is, that does increase cost. But it's really nice to have because this makes it so much easier to load in like larger bins of items, right? Being able to move in and out. You have the upgraded grab handle right here. You have the steps with the aluminum treads on there, the More Ride steps, nice, easy, adjustable feet on the latest iteration they came out with like a year or two ago. And then the running gear. This is something else that is really important and oftentimes overlooked, but not by Flagstaff. You have Goodyear American-made tires. You have ABS brakes on here, which is something, you know, we almost never see. You have the Torflex axles by Dexter on there. They're torsion axles. And you're going to get the banded tire pressure monitoring system. So not only is that going to monitor your pressure, but it's going to monitor heat as well, which oftentimes is what causes a blowout. Talked a little bit earlier about the auto level. There you go. There are the rear jacks with the pads on there. A couple other things I want to hit on. One of them is if you take a look underneath the slide, you will see this is a rack and pinion. That is going to be generally agreed upon in the industry as the best in the industry, is the through frame rack and pinion. Also behind that tire, you can also see underneath is a spare. A little bit tougher to get to, but you know, that it definitely is there. And so again, even if it's underneath the coach, I'd rather have one than not have one at all. Another thing I want to hit on when we talk about construction is the construction of the coach itself. So when we talk about lamination, there's going to be a couple, well, actually, let me dial that back. Let's talk about fiberglass exterior, right? So there are going to be a couple different construction methods when it comes to fiberglass. You're either going to have pinch roll, you're going to have hung wall glass, or you're going to have vacuum bond. The Flagstaff uses vacuum bond, which there's debate. A lot of manufacturers debate what's better between pinch roll and vacuum bond. Well, I'm here to tell you that I went to the Rockwood Flagstaff facility and I got to do some pull tests on it, and I will tell you that the vacuum bond held up way better than pinch roll. So for what that's worth, that is my experience. Both lamination methods are going to be better than hung wall. And so the thing I like about Flagstaff is that, in my opinion, they are using the best lamination method. And not only that, but the slide boxes, the sides right here, they laminate these as well. This is something that most manufacturers don't do. Usually if you go up on the sidewall, you can push it because it's not going to be laminated. It's just going to be hung wall. That's not the case with the Flagstaff here, so I give them a lot of props for that. Also, you have a 6-sided aluminum cage, so the whole frame basically is aluminum. And the roof, including the roof is actually going to be laminated as well, which makes it fully walkable, which is why you have the ladder right here. So extremely strong, durable roof. You'll also notice right up top there, this one does have backup camera prep. And then right down underneath is going to be an accessory hitch. So if you have like a bike rack or something like that, you have a spot to put it. Now, it doesn't mean you can tow anything behind this, you know, which you can't behind a travel trailer anyway. But the point is it still gives you the ability to just bring along a few extra items. Now, if we take a look right here, you will see that this one does have the 50 amp detachable power cord with 2 ACs. you're definitely going to want 50 amp. And then right up above the slide, we can also see that this one has a slide topper. The great thing about this is any sticks, pine cones, anything that fall are going to be right on the topper when the slide goes in. Those are just going to fall off. Without that topper, those sticks and pine cones, when you put that slide in, are going to get jammed up in this little seal right here, and that can cause a whole bunch of issues, especially after it starts to rain. Now, I'd be remiss not to kind of show you where all of your water connections are. They, of course, will be on the utility side. You have everything you need from your black tank flush, your city water, your fresh tank fill. Then you also have a spot for winterization. Plus, right outside here, you will see outside shower with hot and cold water access, as well as a standard water heater. Now, that's something that Flagstaff still does that a lot of other manufacturers don't. Most have gone to tankless. Flagstaff is still rocking a standard because they want you to be able to have different sources for hot water. So, you know, for what it's worth, that's what they're rocking. Then as we drop down underneath, we can see our valve there, as well as termination. We can see our valve bodies, so that way you know where you're dumping your tanks. Now, you may see this amazing floor plan and incredible construction and say, Ian, this is all great, but how much is it and where can I get one? And those are both great questions. And so to answer that, all you have to do is click on the link in the description. That link will show you what is closest available to you, as well as give you transparent pricing. Thanks again for watching. I'm Ian Baker, and until next time, we'll see ya.